Brewster really wants to leave. It's done. Raheem Brewster has completed that transfer, and where else should we start tonight other than there, folks? Brewster tied up the deal today, £23.5 million. There's a 15% sell-on clause in the deal, and Liverpool do have that much talked about buyback clause as well. The buyback clause, from all reports, seems to be 3 years long, so Liverpool have 3 seasons to figure out if they want to bring Raheem Brewster back to the club or not. You guys know my thoughts on this one. I'm extremely disappointed to see young Raheem leave. I've got nothing but belief in that young man. But I understand it from his point of view, and perhaps I understand it from the club's point of view. Jurgen Klopp spoke about Raheem in his press conference earlier on. I'm going to take you guys through what Jurgen Klopp had to say. He said, Raheem couldn't make it here so far. That's pretty much the information. But he's made big steps in his development. Raheem was seriously injured. So first and foremost, we had to make sure he was ready for all the demands of professional football again. And he is now 100%. He had a really good half season at Swansea and was really impressive. He came here for pre-season and scored for us. You could see he'd made big steps. It's about development. If Raheem was now 25 or 26, we would say, go and work for your chance. It's a different situation when you're younger. A player like Raheem in this position, it's important he makes the next steps and uses the time he lost during that serious injury. Then he goes on to talk about a possible move, but as the day went on, that move actually got done and Raheem was unveiled as a Sheffield United player. So, look, ladies and gentlemen, start off tonight. I want to know your thoughts. I'm sure you've got nothing but well wishes for young Raheem. As Connor pointed out earlier on, Danny Ings left the club, scored a whole heap of goals, and how we wish we would have had a buyback clause in that deal. So, look, I know Danny Ings, again, his time at the club was broken up by injuries and that. So, look, I'm sure you all wish Raheem well, but it is a bit disappointing, isn't it? I'm not going to lie to you. I mean, the window's fantastic. The way the club are going about their business, we'll talk about that as well. Liverpool could bring in as much as £100 million by the time this window closes with all the sales. And if you look at bringing in Thiago, bringing in Diogo Jota, bringing in Costas Tsimikas, and still turning a profit, that would be one hell of a good window from Liverpool Football Club and Michael Edwards from a business standpoint. And it may well set us up for something next summer, which is the title of this stream, and we'll talk about that again, the Jadon Sancho situation. We'll touch on that a little bit later on as well. You see in the interview with James Pearce the other night, I asked him, are Liverpool interested in signing Jadon Sancho? He asked me, in this window, thinking that I was off my head, which was correct if I was assuming this window. He's probably right to assume I was off my head. But I said, no, James, in the future, next window perhaps, if he doesn't go to United. And the reply I got from James Pearce is the reply that I've basically been saying to you guys all along. That nothing is ruled out, but if that was to happen financially, it would probably mean that we may have to move on one of the front three. I've been saying this to you guys for a very, very long time. There will come a time where Jurgen Klopp looks at our front line and says, right, now is the right time to get cash in, get full value, and of course allow a player who may want to move away to go on to pastures new, and that will free up money. Whether you like that or not, that's the business model that we have at Liverpool Football Club, and that's the business model that has gotten us to where we are right now. Sancho to United doesn't look like it's happening, and I'm thoroughly enjoying sitting here watching the meltdown of Manchester United fans on social media. Whether you're in the 90% club with Mark Goldbridge or whether you're not, it has been entertaining to sit back and see the United fan base absolutely lose their minds over Jadon Sancho. Potentially going to end up with Ousmane Dembele maybe, or Josh King, or somebody who isn't Jadon Sancho. So, is there a chance that Liverpool could go in for Sancho next summer? Absolutely. Why not? I don't see why we shouldn't be going after the best young talent in Europe. Jurgen Klopp's a long-term known admirer of Jadon Sancho. Now, United could pull a rabbit out of a hat here. They could get their finger out of their backside and get a deal done before the transfer window closes on Monday. I know a lot of United fans were very happy as well that Roman Berkey and Jadon Sancho didn't travel to the Super Cup final, but that's because they had a respiratory illness, which wasn't, the one that we all fear. I heard that Jadon Sancho did take part in training today. A lot of United fans had reported that he didn't. I believe that he did take part in training today. That was again confirmed by Jan Åge Fjørtoft earlier on Twitter. So, what do you take on this one? Can you imagine the fume if Jadon Sancho ended up a Liverpool player next year? I could almost smell it from here, ladies and gentlemen, but I'm not going to lie to you. I would love the idea. As much as a lot of Liverpool fans out there are talking about Kylian Mbappe, look, realistically, we all know the numbers for Kylian Mbappe to Liverpool just simply don't add up with regards to his wages and stuff. But Jadon Sancho's a possibility, that can add up. We can make those numbers work, particularly if it was with one of the front three to move on. Now, I've had my say on the front three. I've told you guys before who I think may move on down the line, but that's based off nothing but gut instinct, no information or anything like that. What do you guys think about the situation? Would you like to see Jadon Sancho at the club next summer? And how much would it annoy United fans? I mean, that would just be brilliant. I'm not going to lie to you. That would be class. We're owned by the Glazers, mate, said Sadiq. Obviously, must be a United fan there because, yeah, look, it's not my right to talk about how somebody buys and sells a football club or runs a football club, but I absolutely understand why United fans are fuming about their owners, and I absolutely love and adore every single second of it. I respect all the United fans that come in and chat with us. Of course, I respect Mark and Drawdy, our friends over at the United stand, but at the end of the day, they're United. We're Liverpool. We're sitting happy on top of our perch right now, smiling after bringing in Thiago, after bringing in Costas Tsimikas, after bringing in Diogo Jota, and they're talking about Donny van der Beek and wondering will they get Jadon Sancho, and we've still turned a profit, and maybe an even bigger profit. That's how you run a football club, ladies and gentlemen. That's why Michael Edwards is the man that he is, and that's why Jurgen Klopp and this Liverpool team are sitting right back on top of our perch. What a deadly window this has been. Sancho will never happen, not for me, said Rodders. I'm not saying it will or won't happen, mate. I'm just saying it's possible. Jadon Sancho will be in United. Yeah, will he? I don't know. If they don't sign him this summer, he ain't going to go to United as far as I'm concerned, because there will be bigger and better clubs floating around trying to get him. United are a shambles at the minute when it comes to their transfers, I mean. Obviously, I'm not talking about Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and their players. That's not my problem. But looking at it from the outside, I know which club would be more appealing. And look, if United fans are really honest with themselves and put all this aside, all this talk about Jadon Sancho being tapped up and Jadon Sancho wanting to come to United, footballers have as much loyalty as the options that are in front of them at times when it comes to transfers. Now, be honest. You've got Jurgen Klopp sitting over here with Liverpool Football Club, potentially having gone back to back. Best players in Europe, best manager in the world. And then you've got over here Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, Paul Pogba dabbing, scoring deflected free kicks, Scott McTominay in midfield. Which one would you go to? If the money was the same and the wages were on offer, which club, if you were Jadon Sancho, would you pick? Be honest with yourselves. You know which club he'd pick. He's got no affinity to go to Manchester United. He doesn't love Manchester United. He's a footballer. That's the only option available to him this summer. If United get it done, fair play to them. If they don't, though, watch the rest of Europe sniffing around next summer as your boy disappears off into the sunset, folks. And we're all going to be sitting here smiling, nodding along, going, yes, Jadon, yes, Jadon. Whether that's at Liverpool or elsewhere, I do love a bit of fume, ladies and gentlemen. I do love a bit of bragging as well when we're back on the top. Did somebody say back to back? Can I get an amen?